Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a great day today. This is Happy Rich Mama. Today we're going to do an acrylic painting on Philippine native butterflies. Our host plant for our native butterflies is the star cluster plant. We begin by just doing the leaves in a random manner, any which way, as if it's a lush group of star cluster plants. Then we cover the in between the leaves part as a background, or the lowest layer of the leaves of the plants, so they are very dark. So in this painting I use maybe 5 shades of dark green, dark brown, dark purple, dark blue, and that makes it look like there's an inner depth. And so I just go around and fully cover all the background areas where there are no leaves. And after that, I cover all the leaves with different shades of green. I would dab in apple green, or just a primary green, or a blue green, or an olive kind of green on different leaves, so that when you look at it from afar, it seems like some are nearer and some are farther away. And that's the way it is actually in nature. So that's what I did. Remember to always go back to your reference photo so that the shape of the leaves and the colors will be as natural as they can be, although it's your prerogative if you want to have something done to it artistically. But what I did was to kind of make it look natural. I started out feeling happy because I was having fun, but then there were so many leaves and I wanted to put in a lot of details on the leaves, and it takes maybe like more than 3 times of layering on the leaves to get different shadings. And there are highlights that you input, and then there are the lines inside the leaves that you also put in. So it takes quite a while, but it's still fun. When I shade in the leaves, I also take into consideration where the sun might be coming from and how it would be if there is a source of light coming down on the leaves. And so that's how I managed to have some lighter shades and darker shades, and how I tried to replicate what I would see if the sun was coming down on the leaves of the star cluster plant. Oops, sorry about this. I thought I was taking a video of how I did the star cluster flowers, but you will see some details later on. We began with the peacock pansy. It's a common enough butterfly and it's not endangered. It's just everywhere in the Philippines. They can be spotted in a lot of pictures are from Baguio, some in Nueva Ecija. They are in urban places also. So this is how the star cluster flower is done. It's really painstaking, quite meticulous, and the important thing here is the graduation of colors. It cannot be all just red. Sometimes you add in a little orange to the red, a little white to the red, so it becomes a little pink, more on the pink side, but still red. And that's how you make the star cluster flower look like how they are. exactly in nature. Some are higher, some are lower, some are darker, some are lighter. And I hope I was able to accomplish this. I waited a little bit for the peacock pansy first layer of color to dry out so that I can add in a little bit more detail, but I need to have a second coating. With acrylic, it's always important to blend it some more, add a second layer or a third layer, especially if the acrylic paint itself is not does not have the intensity of color that it should have. The peacock pansy wears two colors. One it's the wet season or the dry season. During the wet season, they carry more markings on their wings. Of course, we try to be exact about certain details like the antenna or how many legs does a butterfly have or those details. They're very important. This is the Magellan Birdwing, named after Ferdinand Magellan. The Magellan Birdwing is one of the top 10 biggest butterflies in the world. And the wingspan can reach up to 7 inches. I wanted to show the Magellan Birdwing with its wings spread out. Again, it's always best to always refer back to the inspiration photograph so that the details are accurate. Again, my advice is not to be afraid. As you notice, I didn't have a pencil to draw the butterfly in. I just used the black color to create the spread out wings of a Magellan birdwing. And I will try to remember that it's a bigger butterfly than the peacock pansy. Mixing colors is another important aspect of painting. How you pick up the color with the brush and how you make it go thin or wider as you spread the paint on the canvas is something you need to practice on. Inputting details such as very thin lines is another very challenging part of creating a butterfly. Sometimes there are very lucky accidents, and you just have to get acquainted with the brush that you use on how you can lay down the paint on the canvas so that you achieve the result that you want. You can always redo anything. Sometimes you don't even have to wait until it dries up. Like when I made a mistake here, I just added in more black. This part I had to redo over and over again using black and then yellow and then black and then yellow until I was satisfied with what I got. A basic decision that you must reach is what background color you use on an object. And here I chose orange. It could have been yellow and then add in orange, or it could have been a raw sienna or a mocha color and then add in, because these are the three shades that you will see in the butterfly. I chose three pieces of the peacock pansy butterfly, which is quite a common butterfly, and they fly in twos or threes as a group. As a student trying to learn how the experts do it, I try not to be afraid and just force myself to just use the brush and just dab. And if there's a mistake, you just cover it. I think that makes it, that mindset makes me able to be not afraid to do the little details. And there will be some instances when I wouldn't know how to continue, then I will just stop first and then do some other parts, and then maybe get some inspiration to continue working on some other parts. Well, that's how I learn. Choosing a subject matter for your artwork is really key to knowing what you want to share with the world. They say that when you create art, it's like revealing your true inner self to the world. And since I've been into horticulture for a long time, for decades, then I really have a space in my heart for plants, for nature. And so I think I have found my subject matter, which is Philippine flora and fauna. Or basically, proud Pinay. As I continue to practice with teachers, artists from Eshishak Art Cafe on a weekly basis, we usually do it every Fridays, starting at 2 p.m. Should be ending at 5, but sometimes we end at 8 p.m. And we're grateful to Elmar Badal, who has been very patient with us. As we do our lessons, it's been fun listening to just hearing Nino Odosius and Rick Balingan share jokes with each other, sometimes humming, sometimes doing announcements, or like a radio announcer. That would be Elmar. It really is a very unstressing exercise. Painting is also an exercise for the fingers, for the mind, and for the heart, because after some exercises and after doing a little bit more of painting, then they tend to memorize the steps, and they tend to memorize which brush to take, how to press it on the paint and how to apply it on the canvas. I think there's some kind of memory work in there. But for me, I think persistence, perseverance, and patience, these are the key words that can make you finish a painting. Because sometimes there can be a stumbling block and then you tend to just not do it anymore. Like I have a portrait that's been commissioned and I started it like 3 months ago. I just did a sketch and I haven't found the courage to really work on it yet, but perhaps I need to. I'd like to thank you, my very precious followers on YouTube that follow my blog on how to do some paintings, and I appreciate you watching them, and perhaps some of you have been inspired to do some paintings. That would be a mission accomplished for me. If there's any subject matter and you want to paint using acrylic or whatever medium and you want some guidance on it or some direction or some form of inspiration or encouragement, do tell me on the comments below. Post your comments. Thank you. I think it's also important to mention that there will be some, for example, on the leaves, there will be some that will have a lot of details and there will be some that will be blurred and just stay in the background, although they are still green. And that's the way I think it's a way to make a painting interesting. Working on fine lines, these details can be very tedious. You just have to keep on going. And if you make mistakes, just cover them up and then do them again. Painting should be fun, so don't stress about it. And if you're not happy anymore, just get up and do some other thing and then just go back to it when you find the courage again to continue your painting. As my classmate Dr. Lupe Lazaro would always tell me, if you want the painting to be so detailed that it becomes like a photograph, well, just take a picture. I think that's how painters with absolutely unique styles like Monet and Vincent van Gogh, that's how they were able to become really famous because they really did their own thing. And so that's what we need to discover. What else can we present to the world that will make a difference as a painter? I am grateful that I am able to learn about butterflies as I do my paintings, like the Magellan Birdwing here and the peacock pansy. So now I am acquainted with two of them. Travels, gardens, Ikinobo Ikibana, zero waste gardening, making money, painting, family, friends, prayers. Please like my video. Please ring the bell below for notifications. Naku, maraming salamat po sa inyo.